Soldiers of Mayhem. The Memories of Julie Kostenko. Memory 471. Julie hears a voice above the greasy spoon chatter. So you an artist or something? She turns to see Frank. Artist? Hardly. I doodle to escape the banality of Ormond. He stares at her sketch. He seems to recognize himself standing in line for a hot chocolate. That me? She feels sudden warmth running up her neck. She already knows before he tells her that he's not from Ormond. He looks different. Fun, free, rebellious. He sits beside her and offers to model for her with a laugh. They stare at each other for a long, stretching moment. She decides to invite this charming stranger to a party she's throwing at her house for a friend who just got fired. Joey can't seem to keep a job. With a laugh, he says. Joey sounds normal. You know how much programming it takes to get a human being to accept the whole 8-hour-a-day routine? He continues ranting about how school isn't education, but brainwashing. If it were real education, if it were true education, the core subject would be philosophy and critical thinking. Julie laughs and knows her friends are going to love this iconoclast. She certainly does. Memory 472. She can't stop thinking about him since she first saw him. Now, she hopes he shows up at her party. His rant stuck with her, and she spent a few hours researching how education was corrupted to meet the demands of the Industrial Revolution. Conveyor belt education for assembly line jobs. Nothing has changed for the last 100 years. Only the products. Frank shows up with drugs and drinks. Party treats. Julie introduces him to her best friends Joey and Susie. They talk about favorite foods, slasher movies, and killers all night. Julie amazes Frank with her profound knowledge of serial killers as she leads him to her bedroom and shows him her scrapbooks filled with pictures and clippings of famous murderers. Everyone leaves or passes out while Julie and Frank discuss murder and mayhem, trying to one-up each other with details and trivia. Julie wins with a story of the abandoned cabin where the soldiers of Mayhem hang out, plan, and wreak havoc on the unsuspecting sheep of Ormond. Frank laughs and calls bullshit on the story. No such thing as the soldiers of Mayhem. He read enough about Ormond to know that nothing of the sort happened at the resort cabin. Nothing but bad business and bankruptcy. Julie laughs. This story, Frankie, happens in the future. She grabs a black felt marker and writes Soldiers of Mayhem on his white shirt. He smirks. I like the idea, but I hate the name. Julie shrugs. It's a work in progress. Memory 472. Julie feels alive with Frank. More than alive, complete. First, she thought he was an iconoclast rebel, but soon realized he just liked to argue and push buttons for fun. He thrilled as much as she did to smash beliefs and watch people unravel. Not just people. Ugly people, he called them. It's the name he gave to those people who need to be right, who always need to be right. They were the easiest to push over the edge. Ormond was full of them. Ugly people. Entitled preps and politicians who were turned blue in the face if you challenged any of their beliefs. Julie hands Frank a ski mask. He gives her a curious look. Tonight, we all play a game. Whoever steals the most car emblems wins. Frank smirks. Win what? She approaches Frank and whispers. Whatever the winner wants. Frank quickly puts on his ski mask and rushes into the snow-covered streets of Ormond, searching for cars. Memory 474. More than love, more than passion, Julie feels Frank is her spiritual twin. She spent the whole night confiding her darkest desires for him. how she often wondered what it would be like to set fire to the entire town. Frank leans forward and tells her she can do anything she wants. She just has to know what she wants and build an image of herself doing what she wants in her mind. He continues to espouse some weed-induced theory about manipulating the world with thoughts and feelings. The clearer you are about what you want, and the more focused you are in imagining it, the faster you rewire the world to your favor. Everyone stares at Frank for a long, dramatic moment. Then they burst out laughing in unison. Let's all just imagine buckets of money. Frank shakes his head. Money is dead on its own. Money doesn't inspire the world. Real passion and emotion does. See yourself doing what it is you want to do for the rest of your life with passion. Be clear and focused, and do not waver, and watch the world work in your favor. Another silence. Julie smirks. Frank nods seriously. She closes her eyes and imagines herself and her friends turning Ormond into their personal playpen. She opens her eyes. Memory 475. Julie and Frank wait for Joey and Susie at the old abandoned cabin. Of course, it had to be the cabin, the only exciting place in Ormond. Julie looks at the place. It needs some love. Joey and Susie are out messing with the sheep of Ormond as usual. They soon enter with a bunch of stop signs and laugh about the accidents they caused. No one dead, but some serious injuries. 6 to be precise. They snap some pictures to capture the moment. Joey then tells them he got a new job at the local hardware store. They all make bets on how long he'll keep this job. Julie appraises the space and has an idea. She'll decorate the walls with the emblems they pulled off the cars of Ormond. Everyone likes the idea. Joey adds he wants to hang the stop signs on the wall. Inspired by the small traffic accidents Joey and Susie engineered, Julie instructs another name for their little gang, the Marauders of Mayhem. Frank shakes his head and his eyebrows frown. Too tough on the tongue. Joey disagrees. I love it. All eyes turn to Susie. She shrugs. I agree with Frank. It's a mouthful. Memory 476. Julie and Susie enter the hardware store. Joey wants them to be quick. The owner will be back in 10 minutes. Frank tells him to stop panicking. They grab supplies for the cabin. Paint, brushes, masks. A snow globe captures Frank's eyes. Joey tells him to leave it. Says it's his boss's collector globe. The first snow globe for tourists when Ormond became a popular getaway for snowboarders and skiers. Frank scoffs and takes the globe anyway. Julie stares at Joey and shrugs. Whatever. The globe gives her an idea. She grabs a few generic Ormond globes for a personal project. Memory 477. The cabin is almost ready. Some finishing touches required, and Frank and Susie are hitting a few homes for supplies. Toasters, pans, cutlery, TV, computer, linen, anything to make their refuge a little cozier. Julie stays behind, refashioning generic Ormond globes with scenes of mayhem. Frank approaches her. Can I have one of those? She hands her a globe with 4 stick figures setting a snowman on fire. He says it should be a real person. Julie feels offended. He didn't see the detail. It is. Frank scrutinizes the globe and sees a stickman embedded in the fake yellow snow. Nice. Memory 478. Julie imagines something crazy. In her mind's eye, she imagines herself killing someone with her friends. She has no other image and no doubt. It's more than an image of a first kill. It's an image of her in a newspaper clipping. She makes Ormond exciting again with a series of murders. Her phone startles her. She answers. She hears his voice, and Frank tells her to meet him at the Ormond Majestic Theater. Why? What's playing? He doesn't answer. She gets in her second-hand sedan and drives through the blinding snowstorm to the theater. He graciously opens the door, helps her out. Joey and Susie are standing by the theater holding empty gas containers. Frank hands her a match. Please, do the honors. She strikes the match, watches the flames ignite strong, then it dwindles with the cold wind. Before it extinguishes, she flicks the burning match at the theater. A moment later, a massive fire erupts in the blinding snow. She stares at Frank, at the fire, at Joey and Susie. And she has this sudden crazy thought that Frank is right. Somehow, the world is conspiring in her favor. Memory 479. Joey paces the cabin, suggesting names for the group. Susie thinks they need some kind of a costume, like superheroes. Julie laughs. We're trying to be famous? Frank shrugs. Why not? Julie shrugs. No one ever got famous with petty theft and arson. Maybe we should do something real. Frank leans forward. What does that mean, something real? Julie goes quiet for a moment. She's not sure what she's thinking, or if she's thinking at all, but she wants to feel the thrill she's read about in books. She wants to be more than common, more than ordinary, bigger than life. Frank smiles at her and asks if she thinks she could kill someone. She thinks for a moment. I could. Frank raises a skeptical eyebrow. After a moment, he says he probably couldn't really kill someone. Julie teases him. Not even for me? He shakes his head. Not even for you. And you? Would you kill for me? She echoes his bullshit answer. Never. He laughs and echoes her. Not even for me? Not even for you. Memory 480. Frank won the bet and he's collecting. Joey didn't last a month at the new job. The owner accused him of stealing a chocolate bar, and now he paces the cabin hysterical. Of all the things, a chocolate bar. A chocolate bar he claims he never stole. The injustice of it all. Julie suggests payback. Let's break into the store, get some more supplies, set the whole place on fire to let Ormond know the wrath of the Legion. Joey freezes when he hears the name. Frank raises a curious eyebrow, and then nods approvingly. I like it. I like it a lot. She throws them generic masks. Plain, bland, unimpressive. The only thing we need now is a proper mask.